Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode we're going to be looking at the Australian Holden Kingswood. Hello and welcome back. Now if you're new to Quarterlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars, car brochures, memories, then please consider subscribing. It's all completely free. Now today we're going to Australia for the Holden Kingswood, and this particular brochure is from 1976, so amazing condition actually considering it's from 76. Anyway, let's put it on the board there and have a little bit of a look on this popular Australian model. And here it is, the Holden Kingswood. I know it's a popular Australian model because it tells us, look, Australia's most popular car apparently. Anyway, let's zoom in on the main image. So the main car featured on the front cover is a nice one. I do love the colour. Now, I've never lived in Australia, so I'm not hugely knowledgeable on Holdens, how good they were, how well they lasted. So I do know we've got a lot of Australian viewers, so I do like including these Australian cars. So any further information on these, please jot them in comments. I love learning more about cars. Now this brochure is from 76, and if we just flip to the back cover, we've got these two badges. Firstly the Holden badge on the far left, and then GMH, which is General Motors Holden. So General Motors Holden's Sales Pty Limited, issued July 76. Interesting, July 76, because that's just when the Holden Kingswood HX came out. And the HX was an unusual one because it wasn't really around for too long, like from July 76 to 77, like October 77, so it was soon updated once again. And then on the back we've got a lovely front shot of that same car with this sort of different grille for the HX series. Big bench seat on this as well as we go back to the front cover. I love the colour scheme. I don't know what the colour chart was for these at the time, but seemingly very colourful, and I always approve of that. 70s, we always got some really good colourful cars, didn't we? I'd be happy to see that return. Anyway, let's open the brochure up and have a look inside. And then we open it out and it turns into a really huge sort of fold out style brochure. Just to give you an idea of scale, this is a 12-inch 30cm ruler. It's a big fold out brochure, making for a really nice image of this particular Holden. Zooming on this example, very 70s colours, isn't it? That brown, but actually I think it quite suits the car there. As we just go slightly out of focus for whatever reason, but we'll zoom in a little bit further on that lovely grille and Holden badge there. And then if we look at the other badge on the side, they kind of like move the badge on the HXs to just above that rubbing strip. We notice only a mirror on the driver's side on this example. Hubcaps, wheel covers, whatever you prefer. Little Holden emblem in the middle by the looks of it. Hard to make it out, but just a simple centre cap on a grey steel wheel. At the top left here's the usual brochure clause. All these illustrations and specifications contained in this catalogue are based on the latest product information available at time of publication approval. The right is reserved to make changes at any time without notice in prices, colours, material, equipment, specifications and models, and to discontinue models. Some of the equipment shown or described throughout the catalogue is available at extra cost. Check your Holden dealer for complete information. So the usual sort of clause. Anyway, let's have a look at the far right hand side and learn a bit more about the model, see what options and accessories you could get. tells us at the top there, number one in a country that doesn't settle for second. The Holden Kingswood is built tough for Australia, but it's also built roomy and comfortable for Australians. Room for 6 adult-sized adults and room for all their luggage that safely stays in its place behind a solid steel cargo barrier. Long distance comfort that rides on full coil suspension that soaks up bumps and jolts individually, so you get a smoother, more comfortable ride. Meanwhile, Holden's isolated chassis design cushions out noise and vibration, adds to the peace and quiet. More peace of mind too, because it's also designed to be progressively collapsible in the event of a severe impact. Under the bonnet, you've got a great blend of power, durability and economy going for you. Kingswood's tough 3306 gives you the kind of strength and pull you need even for towing heavy loads, so the 2.8 inline 6 would have been dropped by this stage. And Kingswood fade resistant power assisted front disc brakes let you stop as confidently as you go. Holden Kingswood, built to take it, built to last and built for Australia. So moving down to the options, no doubt about it, today's Holden Kingswood has a lot going for it, but you can also personalise it with a wide range of value-packed options like these. The GMH Trimatic Auto Transmission, 4-speed manual transmission, limited slip differential, full air conditioning, a 4.2 V8, a 5 litre V8, reclining front bucket seats, plus seat separator or console. So a little bit of a thing about these engines, like I say, they did drop that 2.8, but it was also to do with really emissions more than anything. So because these was like modified for low emissions to comply with the new regulations, they're actually a little bit less powerful than the predecessors. Anyway, moving on. Further options are a push button radio, electrically heated rear window, radial tyres, heavy duty equipment, tinted laminated windscreen and a vinyl roof. Then we can have accessories. Accessories are more of a dealer fit thing, so it says your Holden dealer also has a wide range of accessories that include radio stereo tape player, tow bar, trailer wiring harness, weather shield, sunshade, mud deflectors. For complete and detailed information, check your Holden dealer. And then if we move down, it's got some nice little images for us. This is the very basic optional push button radio. It tells us for sport, music, weather, news, on the move. Very good. And then when we move down still further, this is how it decides to show us the optional Trimatic transmission. Takes the legwork out of shifting. And then finally, this bottom picture is the optional electrically heated rear window. It tells us it demists, it defogs at the flick of a switch. Anyway, moving on. And then when we flick this flap back on, we get some more nice interior images. So let's have a look at these. Where it tells us Kingswood steering is forward mounted, so you get better handling, more accurate steering control. The steering ratio has been increased too, so you get lighter, more precise control in parking, in traffic and on the open road. The next image is showing Kingswood's power assisted flow through ventilation has been designed for Australian conditions. You get directional fresh airflow when and where you want it. It keeps the air moving even when you're stationary. And then we get a nice little image of the dash. Unusual steering wheel actually, isn't that? Sort of like boomerang style steering wheel. It tells us information at a glance. Kingswood handsome instrument panel features easier to read international symbols, plus a soft grip steering wheel. It's not overly high spec though, so there isn't that much information. I mean, there isn't even a rev counter on there. It then on the next image kind of like zooms in a little bit further, says fingertip control at your right hand. You have a convenient control stalk that operates your 2-speed wipers, washers, turn signal blinkers, low, high headlight beam and headlight flashing. A lovely image of the interior. It was quite a thick carpet, that huge sort of transmission tunnel there, taking up quite a bit of space. Nice big bench seat on this example, still incorporating head restraints, note. In the UK we were far from insisting we get head restraints at this time, but Australia was always very forward thinking on their safety, much more than the UK. It tells us on this image, it tells us Kingswood's full foam front seats gives gently to your contours and puts real comfort and support in your driving. Good looking, tough wearing, deep loop carpeting adds still more practical luxury. I'm not sure what material these seats are though. I'm kind of like hoping they're not sort of vinyl, because that would be horrendous in Australia. I'm not sure what that material is, but it looks suspiciously like vinyl. Anyway, let's turn to the next page. On the rear page we have the specifications, so let's zoom in on those now. It tells us the heart of the Holden Kingswood is the cleanest running engine Holden's ever built. It's now equipped with a preheat system, so the engine starts running cleaner sooner. Faster warm-ups also means less engine wear. We're so confident in it that routine service intervals have been extended to every 10,000 kilometers or 6 months. So the specs of the standard model, remember there's 2 larger engines as well. So the engine 3300 6-cylinder. Moving down, we can see on there that the transmission 3-speed manual, all synchromesh, column mounted. Remember this is all the standard model equipment. Moving down, of course you can read the rest there if you need to, but moving down, suspension is front independent with coil springs, rear is 4-link design with axle mounted coil springs, brakes front power assisted discs, rear dual servo drums, which is kind of like what we would expect at this time. And then there's further information about fuel tank capacity, wheelbases and the length of the vehicle. And then at the bottom are the ground clearance and the estimated curb weight. So Holden's safety features, we've got our safety features include energy absorbing steering column, tandem brake master cylinder split hydraulic circuits, energy absorbing sun visor, electric windshield washers with 2-speed wipers, wraparound turn signal and backup lamps, 2-speed heater demister, brake system failure warning light, parking brake warning light, front seat head restraints, seat belts for occupants, including seat belts for 6 occupants. That's quite good, isn't it? Including retractable dual sensitive belts for outboard front seat positions, flow through ventilations by ram and fan boosted air, underslung isolated fuel tank and external fuel lines, a cargo guard, luggage compartment barrier, power assisted front disc brakes. At the bottom of it says safety first. The GMH Safety Design Test Centre is the largest, most comprehensive, most advanced proving ground complex in Australia. And we've got a little bit of an image with this crash test dummy. And what else have we got down here? A little bit of another test going on here. Interesting. Moving on. We've got a little bit of a powertrain chart. So the standard 3-speed manual 3300 6-cylinder, and then we've got optional transmissions for a 4-speed manual, 4-speed wide ratio manual and a Trimatic auto. And then optional we can have a 4.2 litre V8 with a 3-speed manual, option that with a 4-speed manual, high performance 4-speed manual and a Trimatic automatic. We can have optional of a 5 litre V8, and that can be had with a high performance 4-speed manual or a turbo hydromatic automatic. Goes on to tell us Australia's most popular car also has Australia's biggest dealer and service network. There are more than 500 Holden dealers across the continent, and their staff are trained to give you the best possible attention. Okay, and then we've got this little bit of a sticker type idea here for the warranty. So GMH 1220, it says every Holden is covered by the GMH warranty, which covers your vehicle for the first 12 months or 20,000 kilometers. And then, like we saw earlier on, there's this green example, people trust Holden, it tells us. And a rather nice front shot. Overall, I do like the design of these, actually. I think look very nice, and particularly in these bold colours like this green. I think it looks a pretty good looking car. Like I say, I've got no experience with these at all, so I really don't know how well they lasted, but at least I'm sure they would have been set up for the Australian conditions rather than some of the other imports possibly may have been a little bit more lacking. But certainly let me know how well these examples did last. So there we go, the Holden Kingswood. So an interesting car, but like I said, I don't have many or any at all experience with these other than what I've read, so please jot in the comments your own experience. Always very interesting to read, and I do read every one. Lots of very, very knowledgeable people out there that I do learn from as well. But we'll end by saying, if you've not done already, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. And there'll be many more episodes to come, both from cars from around the world, as of course many more Australian cars as well, and we've also got many Australian cars in our back catalogue as well. I've also added a couple of boxes that are there for other episodes if you want to jump to those as well. I'll make sure one of those boxes is for the Australian cars, as that's probably what you're most interested in if you're watching this episode. But like I said, thank you so much for watching. Please do drop in again, and of course, take care, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.